Hey there, we're at video 15, and this is just gonna be a quick 2 month, just a little over 2 months, check-in. All in all, things are going good. I've been working really hard to rebuild a life again from scratch, and things have kind of like eased out in terms of the addiction, how it like kind of destroyed everything. Everything's been going really well, but I feel like there's been lately mind traps trying to get me to fall back into old habits. Um, every once in a while, how I react to things, it's addictive. It's addiction behavior, addiction, resentments, addiction, resent. Basically across the board. I guess I should just start with that. I used to always go to the worst case scenario, go to the negative. If I'm waiting someone behind them in line, it's just like all that's going through my head is like, oh my god, why did it take so long? And I'm just like, ugh, getting so frustrated by the second. Um, and this is all traps. I find that to get you mad, to have you overreact, to make a problem out of nothing. Uh, so therefore, because whenever that something like that happened, there's an excuse to use, and I just got to be vigilant that none of that leads to using. Basically, I really find that um, it's how we react to things that's the strongest, most important thing to stay sober, and it's hard sometimes. I just really want to lose my temper and flip out, even though and that never solves anything. Besides, makes me look bad, makes me look impatient, makes me look like a crazy person sometimes. I'm trying to build patience. I have the opportunities given to me to build patience, so I try to look at it as exactly just that. Um, being optimistic into everything I do. I try. I admit that I couldn't see why people made excuses and couldn't put in efforts for getting sober or going to NA or doing things. I'm just like, oh, well, you like, if you really wanted to do it, you'd be doing it. But I read something that made me see the other side of that. Well, that's judging people, and I don't want to judge people. But like, instead of judging people, try to understand the reason why. Try to flat out just understand the situation, understand why they didn't, and instead of coming at it like, judging them for not doing it. So I've been trying to treat every situation kind of like that. Try to have understanding in everything, and why something isn't the way it is, or why it happened the way it did, or coming at it from all angles, trying to learn from it and not be a judgmental person. That's all old behavior. Um, like I said before, it's not it's easy to change, I find, but the hardest thing is not to change back. Falling back into old habits are very, very tricky, and especially when you've been conditioned in them for so long, of how you react, how you deal with situations, you automatically, your brain wants to go there, and I have to constantly redirect it to where I want it to go, so that will condition it to automatically do that. Every time drugs have quickly passed by my mind, almost like a driving by a billboard too fast where you don't get to read it, but kind of what was there. Well, that does seem to happen more and more, and I know it's just mind traps. Like, longer I go without it, my brain is gonna try. My addiction side, part of the brain is gonna try to find a little way to get me to snake back to where I was somehow, testing me out here and there, and but I just I tell myself immediately right away what I've told myself all those summer months, and just remind myself why I quit in the first place. I It makes me distant. It ruins my health. It ruins my relationships. It kills everything in my family. It hurts my family. It hurts my pets. It just makes me physically and mentally ill. It never gets any. It's never different. It's always the same. It never ever changes. By the time I'm done telling myself that, I don't want it anymore. But I guess I'm just scared the day's gonna come where I am gonna want it, and I'm like, that's not gonna work. But I guess that's just a fear that I'm gonna have because I feel like everything's working now, but there's always now built back building of like, but what if this doesn't last forever? And it's like I just try to keep telling myself I have faith 100% that everything's gonna work out, and not to worry and just focus on today. And it's the best thing, the only thing really can do in this situation. Can't worry about tomorrow because I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. I don't even know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow. So I'm just blessed to have this day and just take it for today. Um, I really feel like I definitely don't miss it. I definitely miss nothing about it. Um, it's all just routine stuff. Like I wasn't really happy even when I was using. I have a picture that I have on the wall. It says "Never Forget," and it's a picture of me like right before my breakdown on lots of cocaine, I'm sure, and and it's just like I look nice in the photo, but my eyes are dead. I'm dead inside eyes. And underneath it, I have a picture of my just for today, my first trip I got from NA. So a reminder to myself: don't forget where I came from. Remember the struggle and how hard it was to get here. And take don't take any days for granted. And I worked really hard to get back here. And um, even if I did want to like for a second think about going back to that lifestyle, I look at that picture and realize I wasn't happy. There was no happiness there. It was all synthetic, and the happiness happening in my life is real, and that's what's really important, and that's what's real. Drugs can trick us and manipulate us to feel all sorts of things very intensely and strongly that we either don't feel or haven't felt in a long time. And sure, that's fun, but it's all magic. It's all smoke screens, mirrors. It's not real. It doesn't last. Never will. And it's kind of like can't still believe that I found such comfort in it for so long, the way I did. I felt like every time I start to have feelings come to the surface, I just buried them under whatever was closest to me at the time. Well, that didn't solve anything for sure, but eventually just dealing with everything head on seemed so much easier than I built it up in my head to be. I thought in my head, tackling these problems and facing the harsh reality of my nightmares that was my life. It's just the idea of it was so intensely just too much to ever process or go through or deal with. And I guess from what I built it up in my head to be, it was maybe like 10% of that. So people, everything they said for like talking to people, setting boundaries, but everything it's easy. It's easy once you start doing it and realize that you have made a mountain out of a molehill, and it's really not as bad as you thought. And that, yes, it's anxiety and stressful for the first couple times, but let me tell you, after that, it becomes second nature, and being vulnerable becomes comfortable. Never thought I'd ever say that, but it's true. Granted, these videos came a long way, and it's because of them I've had so much comfortability now, being as vulnerable as I do, and like I just don't, because I don't care what people think. I'm here to hopefully help somebody, or let me say something that somebody needs to hear, and anything outside of that, I don't really care. Um, you know, your self worth should never come from other people's opinions, and you should be happy with yourself, and if you can live with your own choices, and it doesn't matter what anybody says, because there's always going to be people that say something about someone else because of their whatever insecurities or things going on inside them, that they feel necessary to do that. And just really remember how sad it really is for them, because they're the type of people like that don't open up, never do open up. They're never going to be functional human beings, and the only way they can you know get by is to tear others down. So remember, it's not you, it's them, 100%. I think I'm doing okay on the self-love journey, but it's hard to love yourself so much every day. Sometimes I'll get a memory back of something terrible, or that I did, or situation I was in, and it just makes me, you know, it just, it's not the best to remember sometimes. But when I do get these memory floods, it makes me kind of disgusted with myself for a minute, and I just gotta tell myself, like, you still gotta love yourself. It's not who you are anymore, and it's it's hard to love that the side of you not so entirely thrilled with, but it's a part of the journey. And granted, without that part, I wouldn't be me as well. So trying to make peace with that still. I guess I'm not at 100% there yet, but I'm pretty darn close. I have felt a little bit more, I wouldn't say down. My energy level is like, I've had an energy level fluctuation, and like apparently I read that guys can have that the same way as women do when they menstruate, but guys do it with a hormone fluctuation the same days, within like about 7 days. Like uh, it just depends on the testosterone levels. So I do tend to get like a little blah once a month, but it's more so I just feel tired, just like really, really tired and exhausted. But I've been like really, really putting in the work for everything lately, so could just be that too. I don't know. I just wanted to rest last little bit, and I don't know, not burn myself out. Trying not to anyway. Yeah. So I guess that's where I'm gonna leave it at today, and I just really I want to be able to say I love you and look myself in the mirror and say it to myself at the same time. And that's a little practice you could try to do yourself if you if you haven't realized that you can't tell yourself you love you in the mirror yet. Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's hard to look myself in the eyes, but I'm getting there. Say that's the assignment for the day. Give it a try. Anyways, that's enough for today. Bye.